It's like I can't walk on the ceiling. Oh yeah, got me dreaming, dreaming in colors I never dreamed. Oh yeah, I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Fell out with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, magic. No, I'm never letting go. Now that I have it with you. When you kiss me, it's like the stars fall out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Falling out with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, yeah, you take me higher, baby.
Happy birthday, Marlon. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, Marlon. Happy birthday, Marlon. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, Marlon.
Welcome to Radical Truth to Power, the progressive news show. Let's be S3. I am your host, Marlon, along with Anna Hart, along with this. And as you see from the title, we are going to finish the saga of the Plessy v. Ferguson, the beginning of the, and I know that Anna hates the separate but equal. So, this is my last day of my birthday weekend, considering they won't let me count Monday because they're crazy.
I have no problem with it.
What's you and your bad math?
Say it's your first month. I have no problem with that.
No, I hate the birth month thing.
It's your birth year.
It's every year. Never mind.
Celebrate
Um,
your birthday every day, all day.
we also got a somewhat full second half with a Am I the A-Hole Mafia video of the week, and of course Foxy video of the week. How's everything going, Anna? Because trust me, I have absolutely nothing today. I did nothing.
Oh, I gave my dog a bath. I saw my nephew and my brother. I took a nap. I am here, and Mama Heart says hello.
Hello, Mother Heart. What about you, Diaz?
Well, not the most productive day because I had a lot on my plate. I was going to record a few episodes and do my website and do my Patreon page.
Hmm.
I did my website on Patreon page.
Something about you recording.
I hate it.
I think we need to come up with like an interview style where I can come and ask you questions, and then you can go, and that doesn't feel so. You're sitting there all alone talking. I do get that. If you
Yeah.
would like it,
So
I'm
yeah,
volunteering.
that's why I designed it the way I did. In that, if you have expectations of me putting out a lot of content, I'm sorry. I told you I'm not going to do it. The YouTube channel, when I open it up, that's just going to be occasional. Hey, here's a snippet of what we're doing. It's the same thing to be on YouTube. It's going to land on like Instagram. Little short things. Poof, here we go. And then the podcast, whenever I feel like giving an update or saying something, I'll say something. It ain't. It's just not. It's not like this in like other traditional modes where you're actually trying to grow that particular audience.
Hmm.
I had to face who I am and how I am, and just realize no, these platforms are gonna be based on what supports the other project. It's not gonna be the project.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
All right, let's see who already we got out there. This is me. Crossing fingers that the internet holds up tonight, because right now, literally, that's what I did the majority of the day today is
If
work
I
on the
cross,
internet. Yeah, it
if I
was.
cross fingers, does that cross it out?
Yes,
Damn it.
yeah. At least when I was young, that's what we used to say. If you cross fingers, it negates the cross fingers. We didn't have a life when I was younger.
Hey,
Is
hello.
Javier singing happy birthday? No, LL, he is not.
Singing in his heart. He still has love for Marlon. You don't. Even if Marlon doesn't return it.
Y'all
That ain't what I
really,
heard. Javier has some things to say about Marlon, man.
y'all really need to let this go for real. Y'all really need to let this
I don't
Javier.
blame him. You're gonna fire that man like
And
that.
you know what would allow us to let it go, Marlon?
Mm,
Just say it once. Javier did a good job. Then we let it go.
Javier would do a
Because
good job if there was such thing as Javier.
See, there you go. There you go. All over
see?
again. See?
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna be doing all this work and then giving it to an imaginary friend.
Oh, y'all ain't friends.
You didn't have the internet when you were younger. Oh, but yes, I did. And
I didn't have
I,
it till I was 50.
You did? I didn't.
I didn't.
Internet came along when I was like, what?
50,
High school? Middle
yeah,
school?
I
High
was in
school?
high school. That's young.
high school.
When they used to
Okay.
have dial up and you couldn't
Yeah.
somebody pick up the phone and knock you off. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
So you remember Windows 95? That
Mhm.
was put out in 1995.
Hmm.
I was 15.
Excuse me for a second, y'all.
Oh, that's it. We start talking about how old he is. And he just goes.
I'm sitting here eating
No.
pecans because I'm at a certain age where I have to make sure I eat healthier snacks because I eat terrible food.
I have to grind down any kind of nut. Not very good.
The more you hated, the more the more you hated, the more we love them. I don't care. I just don't care.
And the worst part is you're hating yourself.
I'm not hating myself.
You are Javier. Just
Javier is you. Javier is me. Javier is we.
We say
Viva la Javier.
Javier is all.
Let's get this party started.
I was just gonna say no. Javier is not all. Jesus is all.
You do not realize you really messed up my.
I don't subscribe to that religion, so
I don't
Javier
know
is
a religion called Jesus. There's probably a religion by Jesus.
Jesusianity. Never mind.
Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and give y'all a service announcement. Apparently, Kim has decided that this is going to be the noisiest she's ever going to eat while she's in this room. She's
I
gonna
can't hear.
I can't hear anything.
everything.
Steve's just eating peanuts. Why can't I have
I'm eating pecans.
See?
You
I'm
go
fancy.
I'd rather have nuts, but I mean, I'll have chips.
Oh Lord! The beginning of Plessy v. Ferguson.
Activist lawyering, or cause lawyering, is where lawyers basically create cases, find plaintiffs to challenge the laws as they are, so that they go to court and can eventually make their way to the Supreme Court to challenge the constitutionality of laws that violate civil rights or other rights. It's done by lawyers across the political spectrum, and it's been done for a very long time. Plessy versus Ferguson is an example of cause lawyering. After the separate car law passed, a group of 18 prominent New Orleans residents met and formed the Citizens Committee of New Orleans to challenge the law. They hired an outspoken attorney who was known for being a radical on the race question named Albion Tourjay. Together they came up with a plan to challenge the Separate Car Act. Tourjay came up with a plan to have a person who looked white but was mixed race violate the law in order to highlight how arbitrary the term colored was. After one failed attempt, they landed on Homer Plessy. Homer Plessy was born in 1862 or 1863, the second of two children in a French-speaking Creole family in New Orleans, Louisiana. He came of age as Louisiana was undoing the progress that was made during the Reconstruction era. He was a shoemaker and an activist, and he was recruited by the Citizens Committee of New Orleans because members had connections with him due to his activist work, and because Homer Plessy self-identified as 7/8 white and 1/8 African and could easily pass as white. The Citizens Committee staged the whole incident with the support of the railway company, which was against the separate car requirements because it required them to have two cars even if each were only half full. On June 7th, 1892, Homer bought himself a first-class ticket on the East Louisiana Railroad traveling from the Press Street Depot in New Orleans to Covington, Louisiana. He took an empty seat in the whites-only car. I read conflicting reports that either the conductor saw him and told him to leave, or that as he gave his ticket to the conductor, Plessy said, "I'm 1/8 black," which the second one makes more sense, I guess, because if he passed easily for white, then he'd probably have to alert someone to his blackness in order for them to know that he was even breaking the law. Unfortunately, there are no photos of Homer Plessy that still exist. Anyway, either way, the conductor told him to leave, he refused, and then a private detective that the Citizens Committee had actually hired arrested Homer and brought him to the authorities, and he was jailed shortly until the Citizens Committee paid his $500 bond the next day. Homer was then convicted by a New Orleans court of violating the separate car law. As a quick aside, the way that this works is he was found guilty of this law in state court, which then gave him grounds to challenge that conviction in federal courts by arguing that the law was unconstitutional, which is a federal question. Does that make sense? So Plessy sued the presiding judge, the Honorable John H. Ferguson, because he was the one who convicted Plessy and therefore, according to Plessy's legal arguments, violated his constitutional rights. And that's how we get the case title, Plessy versus Ferguson. And Plessy's case wound its way through the federal court system until it made it to the Supreme Court in 1896, during which time Jim Crow laws took an even deeper hold in the South and became more tolerated by the North, and even Congress stepped back some of its measures meant to enforce Reconstruction-era policies.
You know how crazy it is to have to buy for a business a separate car because of these and railway cars, and that is why there are stories that the railroad was also involved in this. But you notice that he had to be arrested by somebody in on it, because what I uncovered was basically they were afraid he was going to get arrested for something minor, like loitering. He had to specifically be arrested in order for this case to work its way up for violating the Louisiana rule. It's an intricate story, and I'm all for cause lawyering. But we get the stupid endings.
Yeah. Just a heads up to everybody. I think me and Thea talked about it on the messenger. We were saying a lot of these cases during this time, I should say, was really stupid decisions for us. Now, for them, it worked great. For us, not so good.
What do you mean?
This case, what was the one we did beforehand, where the guy basically flat out just said that we were property, that and government
Judge
Scott, that was it. Yes.
Thank you. That one, not to give away the ending of this one, but this one,
another sucky ruling. I mean, come on, she gets into it in the very beginning of her video. This is, and I'm gonna have to say it. Sorry, it's the first hour, but this is fucked up justice.
But that's just it. And I'm sorry, y'all, for y'all out there. I have a different angle probably than my panel members. So
you used to do.
I usually do. But is it that the ruling was messed up, or really for me is you got to zone out? You know what I'm saying? Because what they try to do is they try to get you worked up on particulars so that you miss the overarching situation. Like when we were talking about the Dred Scott, if you recall, we were saying like if you go to a free state and then you go into a slave state, right? But the issue is slavery, right? It's not what state I happen to be in, right? So yes, these laws were horrendous, but these laws are horrendous because they didn't want us around. Like we were brought here for labor, period. We were dehumanized. We were reduced in their eyes to something that wasn't even human. And they use their religion, they use their laws, and they use their customs to enforce that. So when you look at it through that particular lens, all of this makes sense. Every last bit of it makes sense. Right? So you got a predatory, evil collection of people doing predatory, evil stuff. Right? And then you have, because most of the people making these decisions never wanted the enslaved Africans to no longer be enslaved. So now you have your quote unquote freedom, and now I have to be bothered with you, and I never had to be bothered with you before. So now I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure that you're kept away. And through that lens is when you get these rulings. But because the law of the land, the federal law, 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment say what they say, the states had to be creative. So they will come up with things like this, right? You got a whites only car and a black only car. Well, the whites only car got cushions in the seat. You got the trim is done. You know, it's normal. The black only one got bench seats tacked to the wall. You probably get a splinter. It's got wind in the draft. You're back there with the luggage and the animals. And that's where you are. And that's all to discourage you from even riding the train. Right? It's not about where you sit on the train. They don't want you on the train. And when you understand that, all of this stuff kind of comes together. The big part that I want most people to really pay attention to is these are not one-offs. These are not individuals making bad decisions. This isn't like with Dred Scott, the one guy that was pointed out as being unusually racist. Whole damn court was racist. There was one dude on the whole court that was like, "Yeah, this ain't quite right, y'all." Right? You know, in order to get there, you got planning commissions, zoning commissions. You got the people who approve your business licenses, the people who decide who the lawyers are, people who decide who the judges are. All of these layers are all racist. This is a community effort, folks. So that's kind of how I view some of this. But I do think it's cool, like you said, Anna, where in order to make sure they could fight on the right thing, right? They had to be the ones who did the arresting as well. Because otherwise, if somebody else had been able to arrest them, like you said, it could have been loitering or any number of things. And you were saying that's why you kind of like cause lawyering. And then I'm gonna end here, but I don't like cause lawyering because you had to manufacture it to get there. That tells you there's something way wronger than this. Because cause lawyering is exactly what's being used to dismantle the 14th Amendment so that black people no longer have any protections. Because cause lawyering is the same thing that's being used to break down the Voting Rights Act. Cause lawyering is the same thing they're going after for affirmative action. Cause lawyering is the same thing they're going after for low income assistance for anybody. They create a cause and then they go and they push it. That's how you got rid of Roe v. Wade. Cause lawyering.
Yep. Fully understand that.
Hey, Parker. Welcome.
Hey, baby boy.
And LL, we're literally going to get into the separate but equal. We're going to get into it. It literally is going to come at the end. But let's go ahead and move on to the case itself.
Hey, Marlon, hit the button. But LL, what Marlon was basically hitting in case it wasn't caught by anybody else out there, we're not yet at separate but equal.
Yes.
What we are right now is just separate. So that part will come.
Yeah. It all wraps in a nice, disgusting bowl at the end. Let's go ahead and move on.
At the Supreme Court, Plessy, through his lawyers, argued that the Separate Car Act violated both the 13th and 14th Amendments. Reminder that the 13th Amendment abolished slavery and the badges and incidents of slavery, and the 14th Amendment guaranteed equal protection under the laws. And the Supreme Court, to his arguments, was like, no. They rejected Plessy's argument that separate accommodations were an incident or badge of slavery, saying that a statute which implies merely a legal distinction between the white and colored races has no tendency to destroy the legal equality of the two races or reestablish a state of involuntary servitude. They just fully rejected the 13th Amendment argument in a couple paragraphs and then devoted the rest of the opinion, which was a 7-to-1 split with one justice abstaining, to the 14th Amendment argument. And the crux of their reasoning revolved around the idea that just because things are separate doesn't mean one race is inferior to the other. The opinion says the 14th Amendment could not have been intended to abolish distinctions based upon color or to enforce social, as distinguished from political, equality, or a commingling of the two races upon terms unsatisfactory to either. Laws permitting and even requiring their separation in places where they are liable to be brought into contact do not necessarily imply the inferiority of either race to the other and have been generally, if not universally, recognized within the competency of the state legislatures in the exercise of their police power. So basically they say there's no way the 14th Amendment can be construed as requiring the enforcement of social equality. That's absurd, and in any event, the state should do that. They also briefly allude to the Due Process Clause, remember the right to due process of the law before your life, liberty, or property is taken away. Plessy's lawyer argued that being denied entry to the white car deprived Plessy of property, that is, the ability to travel in that car. And the Supreme Court was like, okay, even if it was considered property, that's not true. The white man could sue if he was denied entry into the white car because of deprivation of property, but the black man couldn't sue for not being allowed into the white car because he has been deprived of no property since he is not lawfully entitled to the reputation of being a white man. Plessy's lawyer also argued that if this law were to stand, the same argument could then support separating people based on hair color or nationality, or requiring black people to paint their house one color and white people to paint their house another color, and any other absurd laws. And the Supreme Court was like, you silly man. The states still have to be reasonable in their laws and can only enact laws in good faith for the promotion of the public good and not for the oppression of a particular class. Like, there was just a complete lack of understanding or just willful blindness, perhaps, on the part of the Supreme Court to acknowledge that segregation laws were literally meant to oppress one class to the benefit of the other. Nor was there any acknowledgement that the actual train cars or other segregated spaces for black people were also inferior in quality to those for white people. I don't know if the court was just overlooking that or if that wasn't raised in the party's arguments. I have a hard time believing that it was just not raised at all by Plessy's lawyers.
Real quick, and I'm gonna make this real quick, Marlon. That what she just did in the last 2 minutes, and respectfully, Anna, you kind of hit on the same kind of sentiment a moment ago. That is one of the things that irks me so much when we talk about these topics, because you're giving the benefit of doubt to people that don't deserve it. Like, it's almost like you're fighting to find a rational reason for what you're encountering. And the only rationality is that they hate you. Like, we're trying to find anything but that, right? Because she's like, I don't know if they just weren't willing to acknowledge it, or no, you know what the hell was going on. You know.
Yes, I'm not gonna lie to you. That literally was the first thing that popped in my head when we was gonna come back. Was you know how I always say, people are doing wrong when they try to hide. They know they're in the wrong when they try to hide it amongst a lot of other crap. So when people always come and say, "Oh, I didn't think I was doing anything wrong," then why did you lie about it? Why did you hide it? Why did you gaslight? Why did you do everything in your power to make sure that this didn't come? These people talking on here, your stuff is bull crap. You don't like black people. I'd rather you literally just said that, but you can't really say that. So you
but
come
they
up
can.
They can't.
At that time, they could say it. The thing is, you're beneath. I'm just going at a mentality here, folks. You are beneath me. So I do not have to tell you the truth. I can tell you anything and you need to accept it because my position of authority is what it is. If I tell you that I don't think that you need to be there because you're just not supposed to be there, that needs to be good enough for you. You don't need to hear from me that I don't think you need to be there because you're black. You don't deserve that. You're not worth that explanation. You get no. And that's
Okay, see, I gotta push back on it there. So, cause then what's with all this word vomit? What is with
because it
all
needs to be
the
shrouded.
wordings and everything else when you could just flat out just say, "Hey, you're beneath me. I ain't got to give you an answer to any of this. It's no." But
The
you
reason
sit there
why,
throwing out this whole no because it's white man and the coloring of houses and bruh, come on.
but see, the color of the houses and stuff is because whenever you're trying to make certain types of points, you go into hyperbole. Only and you do it tactically, because if I can give you an extreme case to show you how wild what you're saying to me can be, it defeats your entire argument, and we can stop now, right? So when you tell me that you deserve to have be able to be in the same car with anybody else because you are a citizen just like anybody else, so next thing you know, tell me everybody needs to have an orange house because you like having an orange house. You see how crazy that is? But that's the point. I want you to hear. I'm reinterpreting what you saying and giving it back to you in the most ridiculous way possible, so it defeats your argument, right? And then as far as what's up with the word vomit and all the flowery speech and all of that, it is so that they can protect themselves or insulate themselves from Congress, because Congress is the ones who pass the laws that put the amendments in place. So these are individuals of power who do not agree with what the Constitution has said. And they are now saying, no, and then I'm going to use these words so that it sounds legal and elevated, so you can't fight me. Whereas if I were just straight up honest, which I could be, but then I got to sit there and deal with y'all, you gonna pass another amendment? You know what I'm saying? So power is, and they always do the same kind of stuff, man.
Yeah. Is you got anything, Anna? All right, let's go to the second part then of the verdict.
But in any event, the Supreme Court conveniently ignored them, concluding, "We consider the underlying fallacy of the plaintiff's argument to consist in the assumption that the enforced separation of the two races stamps the colored race with a badge of inferiority. If this be so, it is not by reason of anything found in the Act, but solely because the colored race chooses to put that construction upon it." And they go on to say that if the tables were turned and the black race was the dominant power and created the same laws, white people wouldn't acquiesce to the assumption that they were being labeled inferior. Basically, they're saying blacks are playing the victim here. And then the court goes on to say that in any event, even if it were to make them inferior, laws can't overcome social prejudices. Forced commingling of the two races won't secure them equal rights. If the two races are to meet upon terms of social equality, it must be the result of natural affinities, a mutual appreciation of each other's merits, and a voluntary consent of individuals. Basically saying the government's already given blacks equal rights and equal opportunities for improvement and progress now, so that's all that they can do. Legislation can't eradicate racial instincts. And so the Supreme Court upheld the Louisiana law and the separate but equal doctrine. But we often have this kind of paternalistic view of the past and of past prejudices. We think they just didn't know any better. But I think it's better explained by saying that they were willfully blind to it, and society allowed them to be, and even congratulated them for it. This is demonstrated by the dissent in this case, which said, "Everyone knows that the statute in question had its origin in the purpose not so much to exclude white persons from railroad cars occupied by blacks, as to exclude colored people from coaches occupied by or assigned to white persons. The thing to accomplish was, under the guise of giving equal accommodation for whites and blacks, to compel the latter to keep to themselves while traveling in railroad passenger coaches. No one would be so wanting in candor as to assert..."
Ooh, sorry for that editing issue.
Yeah, that was cool.
I honestly can't even add anything more than what we've already heard. They're full of crap, and I hate to even say that because I think I'm beating a dead horse saying that statement so many doggone times going through these cases, but it's so tiring. The one thing I always said about a lie that's always infuriating to me, if you're gonna lie to me, make it a good lie. Like at least make it believable. Because I feel very insulted when you just feel like you could say anything to me and I'm just, I don't know, dumb enough to believe it or gullible enough to believe it or whatever. That infuriates me. I don't like liars to begin with. I get that. But if you're going to lie to me, make it a good lie. And I'm so sorry, but that one part where you flat out said, and if the black man was the superior, these would still be the same. Every time something like that comes up, I always remember the day after Biden won the election. It's going to be burned into my head getting on Facebook the day after Biden won the election. Because we had so many people, so many Trump supporters who came out of the woodworks going, well, now that this is all settled, we should come together as one nation, and be at peace and be together. All I hear is, oh, so you knew we were separated during Trump's era. You knew this wasn't peaceful during Trump's era. And you
Just
was
to hold me
okay
accountable now.
about it. And you was
Yeah.
okay with
No
it.
consequences. No consequences.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna say goodbye to my family.
Okay. Say goodbye for me. Yeah. So you knew there was chaos for one group of people in the United States during the Trump era. But now that Trump is out of power, now you want us to come together as a nation. What you just said, Theas and Anna, probably.
So
You don't want no consequences now. You do not want to go through, you do not want us to treat you the same way y'all was treating us for 4 straight years.
and see, brother, that's why I used to think of it the way you just explained it. And more recently, I've shifted because I think, well, actually, I'm at the point where I say I know that our biggest issue is that we don't think tactically, we think morally, right? And morally and what's fair and all that, that's not real. That's not life. That only exists in a book somewhere. That's only how you treat people because you choose to. What we are encountering is tactical decision making. So think of it this way. You had a fight. It's supposed to be a fight to the death. Now, if you were winning, you would then have the option when your opponent is at their weakest point to decide, do I let them live or do I take them out? I have that power. That's not going to create much of a moral conundrum for you. But what if you're the one who is in the fight and you happen to lose this round? See, going into the fight, you were all for it, right? You know, fight to the end, winner takes all, you know, might makes right. You know, we know those phrases and those thinking, those thought processes, right? Going into the fight, both of us are like that. And if I win, I might give you mercy at the end, right? Or I might hold you to the rules of the contest that you agreed to be in, and I'll go ahead and finish you off now. Tactical thinking, that's one side of the argument. The other side is when you lose. Now, what are you going to do when you lose? You're just going to gracefully concede your life, or are you going to beg for some type of leniency? Or you're gonna do some bargaining so that you have the opportunity to maybe fight again later. See, tactically, what they're doing makes perfect sense. They went in, their goal was Trump is going to get us in here. We're going to finish what we started. And by hook or by crook, we will now reassert ourselves as the dominant group. We don't want to eliminate every other group. We just want the other groups to get in their place. And that place is anywhere behind us. But they lost. And now that they lost, they say what you were saying. Hey, let bygones be bygones.
Buddy.
There's a misunderstanding. You know, that's what a person's supposed to do when they're in that position. It's like, so that's all I'm saying on that particular piece. And the other thing from what the video was hitting on, I took some notes here. So this is why I don't like this particular case. I appreciate how the case came to be and all the things it did, because on the timeline that we live on, this was a very important part of the process. Because to me, it turned the lights on and made the whole country look and see that the war was over, but the battle was still running, right? But white people don't like to not be included in stuff. I don't care where you go in the world, you will find white people there. All right? I don't care. You start a group of all Peloponnesian people. Peloponnesian people. Peloponnesian is food. Sorry. Peloponnesian people.
Damn.
You will find a white person there. You start an all-black organization, you will find white people there. You start an all-Latino organization, you will find white people there. They cannot stand to not be included in something, no matter what it is. So what they said in that video clip was them being honest. You said they were lying. They weren't lying. They were being honest if you hear what they're saying to you. We're not saying, like, if there was an all-black car, if the white person wanted to go sit in that car, he should be able to do that. We're simply telling you that your black ass can't come sit in this car. Right? That was literally what they were saying, right? The restriction is on you, not us. Right? And the other one, I can't remember what the second quote was because it's been a minute. But that second quote was also, it was telling you the truth if you listen to what they're trying to say to you. Whenever you have an opponent, and you've heard me say this many, many times over the years, you have an opponent, you have to look at who they are and process the field the way they see it. If you don't do that, you are doomed to always lose to them because you are trying to make them fit your ideals. That's not what's up. How do they see the world? How are they going to act? Because that's how you can plan how you react. So in my opinion, if you want to draw this out, which would have been dope, but they had other things in the way to make this really hard. Okay. They don't want to let you sit in the white only car because your great granddaddy was black or something. He wasn't white. So you got a little bit too much melanin going on. Right? So, okay. We won't ride your train. We're going to go back to stagecoaches for black folks. It's slower. It's more dangerous and all that. But we're going to start a blacks only ride, right? Using stagecoaches. If you think them white folks ain't going to be on your stagecoach within 90 days, you done lost your damn mind. If you think they not going to pass some new laws to make sure you can't have on stagecoaches, you done lost your damn mind. Because the problem is you. The problem isn't the manner of transportation. But we keep getting lost in the nuance. We focusing on, well, they didn't want us to have the same seat in the train, or we couldn't have the same seat at the restaurant, or we couldn't have the same toilets in. No, they didn't want you, motherfucker. They didn't want you. So create something that they can't do, and they will expose it. Proof being Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood, Florida. Build something that they're not central in, and they will always show you who they are every single time. But instead, we wanted to fight for accommodations, not fight for ownership. And that's where I feel like I would prefer if they had gone a different way.
Got anything else? We got one more video left. All right. Well, let's go ahead and end it. The outcome of the verdict.
The contrary. Like, it was obvious at the time what the actual ends of the law was for. And the judge who wrote the dissent, Judge John Marshall Harlan, yeah, it's not like he was some radical abolitionist. No, he was a former enslaver who had opposed emancipation and civil rights for freed slaves during the Reconstruction era. And even he was like, yeah, okay, but like, we all know what's actually going on, right, guys? But through twists of logic and willful blindness, the court majority was able to say, nah, if blacks think this is a badge of inferiority, that's their own fault. Basically an I'm sorry you feel that way skirting of responsibility. And with that ruling, Plessy versus Ferguson gave the constitutional justification for separate but equal laws that persisted for over half a century during the Jim Crow era, allowing for the proliferation of segregated schools, busing, hotels, swimming pools, and theaters. It wouldn't be until the landmark case Brown v. Board of Education in 1954 that the Supreme Court would finally overturn Plessy versus Ferguson's approval of segregation. After the ruling, Homer Plessy was then criminally tried for violating the Separate Car Act and was required to pay a fine of $25, the equivalent of about $870 today. The Citizens Committee paid the fine and fully disbanded shortly afterwards. As the industrial production led to the decline in demand for the shoemaking profession, Plessy went on to do odd jobs as a laborer, warehouseman, clerk, and insurance premium collector. He died in 1925 at the age of 63, 30 years before the separate but equal doctrine would be finally done away with. Of course, just because segregation was outlawed in the 60s doesn't mean it no longer exists today. Much of the remnants of segregation, especially in schooling and housing, can still be seen in every metropolitan area across the United States today. For a deep dive into de facto segregation and how it's all connected to racist laws over the past 150 years, I highly recommend The Color of Law by Richard Rothstein. That and The New Jim Crow are two of the most eye-opening books I've ever read about race in America.
That book, Color of Law, man, for real. When I kick Complex Mind back up, that's probably going to be, if not the first, the second book that I go through. That book is dynamite.
But, and I'll let everybody else talk. I just want to make this point once again, and I know I'm probably getting on everybody's nerve when I say this, because I just can't get over it, and I'll get over it on my due time. This is what I mean when I ignore you blittering morons who keep saying, but that was a long time ago. It was not in effect. Those laws, those principles, those feelings, all those things were not used for just that time. It was used to affect us in the present and the future. Use your head. When we say to you so many times that it's not working, no, it's working perfectly. It's working exactly the way they wanted it to work. See, you're so simple-minded when you keep saying these history that I be putting on this show was a long time ago and it shouldn't affect you now. No, bruh. That was the point of them doing it, to affect us now. But you keep thinking, well, they cleaned it up, so it shouldn't have no effect on y'all. Y'all just mad, and y'all just don't know, and y'all just lazy, and y'all just don't want to pull yourself up out, bruh. First of all, I'm just really right now speaking to the people who half trying to be sincere. Okay. The other half who knows exactly what I'm talking about, screw you, because you're talking to the wrong group of people. We know you're not coming in good faith. So I'm not even talking to you. But the people who are just, the people who just don't know, and i.e. just don't want to know, those policies and procedures and those laws were set in place for a reason. And it wasn't set in place for not only those times, but for future generations. It may be named a different name. The method may be a little different, but the outcome is exactly the same. Exactly the same. I'm exhausted, but I'm not
Well, I
that
did.
toxic enough that I'm not going to keep doing this. Like, believe me, I just had a past birthday. I'm full of energy on this subject because I got grandkids now. I mean, no, I've been in protective mode darn near 20 semi years. Well, longer than that. But my point is, now I got grandkids that I have to protect now too. And I'm telling you what I've told them. You're gonna go out, you better go out swinging. That's all I've asked of you. Give me your all. So if you're gonna go out, you better go out swinging.
Yes, did you have something to say to Marlon to what
Yeah,
he's
because
saying
I
here?
know that face he made when I said something that went wrong.
No,
So
no, you said what you feel, and that's legit. What
I'm
I'm
just
saying, huh? What happened? What I do?
I was just messing with you. I like
Oh
picking on
no,
you.
no,
You
but
make
I'm saying,
that face. You know
no,
I
no,
like
no.
messing with you when I say something that I know as soon as I say something that this has a different take on it, these will go,
Yeah, my face talks too loud. I'm sorry.
mm,
Um, so for me,
your
it's like
face
this.
is too loud.
Like it, it this is gonna sound. It's probably gonna sound a little bit like the right wing people or whatever, the people that they get on the board and talk crazy. Um, because once again, I try to look at it from their point of view because I've decided that these people are my enemy. So I'm not under any false pretenses in trying to make friends out of enemies. That's not who I am. You work with who you can work with, and you fight who you have to fight. So in so saying, when they say, "Yo, all these laws that you're talking about, these laws were 60, 70, 90, 100 years ago. They've all been taken off the books or they're not even being enforced anymore. Why are you so mad? Why are you still fighting the battles of your grandparents and your great grandparents? Right now, you ain't got to deal with all that." And there's some truth in that, but it's a lazy truth. It's a truth that is ignoring all the underlying things and how things stack over time, right? So walk with me on it. There's two paths here. There's a path that Marlon was talking about, which is true. This stuff, you can take whatever, you can change the name of it, you can put some new paint on it, you can do all that stuff. It's still fulfilling the same intention. The same intention, which is how do we suppress the growth and freedoms of other groups of people. Like that's the plan, right? Um, So that's that path. True enough, still impacts us today. That's why schools are funded by property taxes, even though we know how bad that is. Which is why we still have the electoral college, which we know how bad that is. Which is why they haven't done an amendment to give them the ability. It's just funny how I have to say this. Do an amendment so they could get the ability to do an amendment to fix the senator allocations of the states. I was listening to the other California, just Los Angeles has like 10 million people in it. That's more than 41 combined population states. So 41 states have 80, well, I'm sorry, man, my math is all bad. 42 senators have 82, so they got 82 senators to the equivalent of 2. Okay.
Yep.
That doesn't make sense. Like mathematically, it doesn't make sense. That's not representation based on this weird theory that they like to sell us in school about taxation without representation and all that, because that wasn't what really what really went down. But if you were looking at that, it's just wrong, and we know it's wrong, but we're not gonna fix it though. So we have these things that are very clearly set in place that still tilt the game. So yeah, miss me with all of that other stuff. But then there's the other side of the argument. Our forefathers, our grandparents, right? We ain't even talking about like ancients, right? Just grandparents came up in a time where they could not own, rent, work, everything was subject to somebody else. Okay, my grandparents, because see, my parents came up under Jim Crow, so that meant my grandparents, their whole life was under Jim Crow. All right, so they dealt with racial terrorism, they dealt with racial laws, they dealt with employment racism, they dealt with social racism, they dealt with all the levels, every level of racist active oppression. Our group, those of us who came around in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, we're the beneficiaries of the hard work that they did. So we aren't dealing with any of those things at the level that they did. The biggest thing we have to deal with is social racism, which is more, and it's not even like effective social racism. There's one-offs, you got racists. But really what we're doing was legacy of racism, and we're dealing with obstructionism, right? That means my grandparents were dealing with on level 10. I'm dealing with on level 3. So given that, what the hell are we doing with it? See, you nailed it on the head, Marlon, when you said I'm a grandparent now, and now I got to be the protector for yet another generation. And what I'm saying is that's mainly because we didn't do what the hell we were supposed to do, and our parents didn't do what the hell they were supposed to do. Because what should have been happening is we should have been using this fact that we have less oppression and obstruction to build communities, to build businesses, to build things that would give more of our children an insulated environment in which to grow and develop. Instead, we are still in protection mode because we don't have anywhere safe to go. I am still having to teach my daughters survival tactics on how to navigate white spaces and survival tactics on how to navigate black spaces. Because we have not, in my opinion, been active and aggressive in fixing what we can fix. We are still fighting for accommodations when we should be fighting for ownership. And that is a flaw. And that's how I feel about it. I could be dead wrong, but that's how I feel. We should have communities which is one of the things indirectly that I'm building, because it's not, like I said, this organization isn't just about black folk, but it's part of that theory. Build a community so you can hire people within your community so that they can get a job, so they don't have to go to someone who hates them to ask them for a job. When they get out of jail, they don't have to now go to the person who put them in jail and beg them for a job. You can give them a job, right? We have to step up, folks. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say this and I'll drop it. It's like when someone owes you something. If Marlon owed me $25, right? This is like the reparations argument. Marlon owes me $25. Every time Marlon see me coming, he know it's coming up. Hey, old partner, you got my money? You good? But I'm still going to live my life as though that money ain't coming. I'm still going to work. I'm still building things. I'm still taking care of my family. I'm still doing the whole 9. But every time you see my face, you're going to hear me say, hey, yo, partner, you got my money? And that's how I feel like we really should shift. We're past time needing to shift this way, but we really got to shift.
All right, Alan, you got anything?
Just going back to what
you were saying, Marlon, before about and you're in protection mode. The single best illustration for me was when Malcolm X said, I'm gonna get it wrong, but when you stick a knife in someone's back and only pull it out part way, you are doing nothing to heal the wound. Even if you pulled it out all the way, you're still doing nothing to heal the wound. For me, there was no better, more succinct way of understanding, not understanding, of starting to understand the generational trauma. I've been in many fights where an ignorant white person says, but yeah, this was so long ago. What are you? And so, the Plessy verdict that came out in 1896, same year my great-grandfather was born. That was not so long ago. We have to get outside of our comfort zones and learn about, and I'm speaking to my cousins here, and learn about the actual history that happened, not what you feel comfortable with. Yes, we had cousins, we had uncles, aunts, grandparents, great-grandparents who had evil thoughts. I can't say it any other way.
Evil actions too.
And
The actions that
they
bother
let
me.
their actions, phew. Yeah.
But here's the funny thing about it, though, Anna.
Mhm.
That's why I keep saying 2 tracks, right?
Right.
The issue, if it was easy to resolve, it already been fixed.
Right.
Okay, so we have to understand that this is a complicated, twisted up situation. Because when you personalize it, then it's really hard for a lot of white people to engage because now you get into your defensive bullshit, right? And you're like, well, my granddaddy didn't do any of that stuff. You don't know what your granddaddy did. First off, you don't know. Your kids don't know everything that you do, so don't pretend like you know everything your granddaddy did. Stop it. All right, but it's not about that. What we're saying is each of these events across American history. Yes, these are events you need to learn about the events, but I think it's important not to waste a lot of time digging too deep into them because then it just becomes like a history project. What's really important is this happened, learn enough about it to have an understanding, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then process it as, was that an opportunity or was it a obstacle, right? And then you just kind of line up your historical big events and circumstances. Is it an advancement? Was it an obstacle? Was it an advancement? Was it an obstacle? And that will start to really paint a picture for you, right? The GI Bill. Only white people could have the GI Bill. Was that an advancement? Yes. Black people could not have the GI Bill. Was that an advancement? No. Was that an obstacle? Yes. We just shifted space, right?
Mhm.
So you got slavery, advancement, obstacle. You got Reconstruction, advancement, obstacle. You got Jim Crow, advancement, obstacle. Like if you start to really just kind of up tempo, down tempo, these types of things, it really defeats a lot of those dumb arguments because you get to the point that you're now in the now. And you're like, well, no, that stuff is happening anymore. Okay, but we kept getting the merits as we were running in the race where we had to keep going back, right? Or somebody will hold us and be like, no, you stand still for it. You got a 10-minute penalty, stand still, right? While
Right.
the other group, you get a 10-minute bonus. The driver's going to run you up, a quarter mile, hop in the cart, rest up, and run from up there. That's what's happening here. And all this being said is these weren't natural occurrences. These were designed and implemented by humanity with intention. So for those things that you could identify in that way, make amends. So and if they make amends, and this is the challenge to those of us, if they make amends and we agree to them, shut the hell up. All right? Like that you don't get to get the settlement and still use the emotional leverage. Everybody got to disarm at this point. You agreed to it. We put the tape. You negotiated, came to a thing. All right, cool. Now all of it can just be American history. We just teach it as American history, and that's what we do. Compete from here on. But white America don't want to do that because white America don't like to share. Everything about America is about who gets the benefit. Everything about America is who gets the benefit. And then black folk, hey, y'all might not like this. We don't want it either. We like being taken care of. We like being able to have the moral high ground because we wouldn't do you the way you've done us. We wouldn't. So we wouldn't do it. So we like to hang out on that moral high ground and tell you about how evil you are and how bad you are.
That
Right? So
goes back to the conversation of, in the opinions given by the justices of Plessy versus Ferguson, if blacks had dominance and created separate spaces, that would not inherently make a white person, the white people, inferior. I was screaming systemic racism in my head the entire time that was being read out, because no, Black Americans did not have any kind of leverage to work out the laws, to work out businesses. They did not have land. We were having a conversation about this whole the separate but equal, and so a community decides they need a pool. So I said, this is one of my easiest ways of trying to introduce other people to this concept, that you get that pool built, but now comes the law that you must have a pool for Black people as well. And I say, in my silly head, I would have thought that meant an absolutely equal in how big that pool was, how many maybe diving boards there were, how well it's taken care of, the lifeguard. But when you leave it to Well, you can make your own pool. No, you can't. And trying to point to a kiddie pool and saying, well, but they have a pool, while you're standing in front of your Olympic-sized I forget the word that, not above ground, in-ground pool. Most of the things that, when we get into community, we get into business, you cannot compare things built by businessmen with connections and knowledge of permits, all of the stuff that is involved with building. You can't just say, okay, now your turn. Like me, I wouldn't know the first thing about building a pool. I wouldn't know where to go. It is beyond individuals, and our conversations will come back to systemic racism a lot. Because we are still dealing with that.
Yeah, Marlon, I know you got to transition this out, bro.
Yeah, sorry.
Never be sorry. Never be sorry. It's time, but I'd rather have knowledge than going over. So never be sorry for the things said on this show.
No, I'm not about to talk, but I don't want to throw you off. I know you're trying to work in our run long and stuff like that, but like but
Anna just hit and I have tomorrow off, so take all the time.
Yeah. That's all right. I might work hard tomorrow. We'll see. I worked hard to get to this point. All right, but anyway, yeah. So, I forgot how I had it all in my head ready to go before we got started. But so I'll just go with the pool thing that you were just saying, Anna, and it transitions into so many things, like you said, like with business and things like that. And the sad thing is, people don't look at the levels in all the ways that the instructions come in together. You say that I can have a business, like I as an individual I can start a business just like anybody else can start a business. When you go to the Secretary of State and you file for your paperwork to start your business, Secretary of State don't ask you what your race is. Secretary of State don't care. You want to start a business, you start a business. And people will say, there you go, right? Everybody's equal. No. There's a difference in how that person can come to the table. So if you are able to tap into a network or a system that favors you, right? You are the second or third generation. Doesn't mean you're wealthy. This means second or third generation of unobstructed progress, relatively unobstructed progress. That means somewhere in your family is a doctor, somewhere in your family is an engineer, somewhere in your family is a high level professional, somewhere in your family, right? And then those people move with people like themselves. So now they have groups and social networks that they tap into. And then you go, one of the big reasons you go to college, what I tell my children, because I had to be told this by some of my white associates, you don't go to college just to get a degree and get education. If you're doing that, you missing the boat. You go to college to create relationships and networks, because that's who's going to help you get a job, right? That's why you join fraternities, and that's why you join civic groups, and that's why you do student government and all that. It's not just to have fun. These are the people who have networks out there that you plug right back into, right? And then if you have family networks, you can plug into those too. So now we both went to the Secretary of State and filed for a business, and we put $500 down each to do that. The difference, though, is I don't have a network. I don't have all these different things to tap into. I actually had to scrounge that 500 out of my paycheck. So once I put that in there, that's it, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm putting $30, $40 a check in my business. But you are able to say, hey, Dad, this is my business
Yeah.
plan.
Whereas
Here's my
I got the
idea.
money
This
from
is
my
what I
grandfather.
want to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And now Dad or Grandpa can stroke you a check for $10,000. Or they can refinance. This one really hits for college. This is a huge distinction between like a lot of Black and Latino families and white families, right? When we come out of college, the Black and Latinos come out heavily in debt. The white people do not, mainly because the debt's carried by their parents. You can refinance your home and put $30,000, $40,000 out, and your kid just went to school. You grew up in an apartment and ain't nobody in your family owns shit. You ain't going to college off of no refinance. You ain't got it. Right? So you got student loans. Right? Same thing here. You don't have someone who can refinance their vacation home to help finance your business endeavor. Right? So it's once you really get into it is when you start to see how things are not as simple as people try to sell them to you. And like you were saying about the permits, and you were saying like, well, everybody doesn't understand permits. It's even worse than that.
Mm.
You can understand all the permits you want. If they don't want you to have it, they'll just change the rules. What you gonna do?
And as LL said, you can get the business license, but will any bank loan you money?
Because now you got to be a guarantor.
Yeah.
And as soon as they pull up your address, we know who lives in that neighborhood.
Let me have the
It's
last
funny,
word so we can go ahead and go into the second hour. And I'll piggyback off of Anna's analogy of the in-ground pool. It's kind of hard for you to look to one side and see an in-ground Olympic size heated, chemically clean pool and then say, okay, now we're separate but equal, so go ahead and build your pool when you don't have the same land. That is our first hour. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for everybody that's watching. Thank you very much. We're going to go into the second hour with a Am I the A-Hole, a Mafia video of the week, and of course, Foxy video of the week. 4-minute break to reboot and refresh because, yes, I am going to play my video again, and we'll see everybody on the other side. Stay tuned.
Happy birthday, Marlon. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, Marlon. Happy birthday, Marlon.
Living for weekends, wishing I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna piecing back the pieces of my mind. I know how to run from the dark and fly. Till my wings spread, levitate into the clouds. I'm so high above the ground. I'm rising. I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. Higher to a bird. You, I'm rising. I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free.
We are back, and without further ado, let's go ahead and pay those bills. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/Tracy Media Fan. Help support Tracy and all of her endeavors. Please do not forget to go to Anna Hart's website, BorelliEtc.com. Learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. And as always, if you need to reach me, you could do so at radtp@outlook.com. That's RADTP@outlook.com. And by the way, really serious about learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but this should, because it's getting hot out there, folks.
Yeah, actually, I was talking with an old friend that I reconnected with on TikTok, funnily enough. Used to talk to him on Facebook, but I'm not there anymore. So this is a guy from Massachusetts who he's known as Tickman Dan. And he'll show you all kinds of stuff where we have a practice called flagging. Put up a towel, like string it up on a baseball bat or something, just drag it along the grass, and ticks will hook on. And it's a very effective way to find. He did, specifically because people are saying, but we're not in tick season yet. He found 40 ticks in less than 20 minutes. Please be very careful. I have a whole diagram of what ticks are in what part of the United States. I do have plans to make that more of a world wide map, and there's just a lot of ticks out there, so doing that research is very intensive. But we have different species to look for in the different parts of our country here. So they're already out. They're already looking for their meal. And we in Washington just had a beautiful week of weather. But everybody is still so when I say everybody, people like landscapers. I have been told by many landscapers, we don't have any ticks in Washington. I have never seen one. Okay, so because you've never seen one means it doesn't exist. Cool. the Department with Health and Social Services would disagree, and all
That's
of those
science
with the
talk, isn't it?
experience. Sorry.
That's science. That's science talk. That's those intellectuals.
Mm.
What I don't see don't exist.
But I don't see them. There are also some kinds that are no bigger than the period at the end of a sentence when they are babies. You
Mhm.
won't see them. So
Yep.
please be
And when
careful.
I learned about how migratory birds,
Mm.
the ticks are just riding the birds. So like it used to be in very like known areas, like established areas,
Right.
but with the way the earth has been warming and the climates have become more mild, they're traveling further faster than they've ever done before because they just keep moving from species to species, and you know. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
it's
we
yeah.
recently had an Asian tick first show up on the East Coast. Birds. Yeah.
And for my older audience who don't understand why we're doing this, I want you to remember when we was younger,
Mm.
especially all my hood friends out there, my age. Remember when you would probably get your butt whooped if your mom found out that you was rolling around in grass with no head protection or anything because if you get ticks in your head, that means you can't go to school because they ain't gonna allow you to come to school because you got ticks in your head.
I ain't never heard that.
I
Oh,
have.
yep.
We just didn't roll on the
But
ground like that. We
here's
was
the
throwing
funny thing
down what we
about
do.
it, though. Here's the funny thing about it, though, Theus, which why I say people are not paying attention. That was it. It wasn't because, oh my God, it's dangerous. Oh my God, you're gonna hurt yourself. Oh my God, they was worried about infestation. So no, you cannot come to school. I mean, we literally had people who had to have their head shaven so we can get to the tick.
Yep.
But that was their thing. Don't bring that to school. We don't want all them things going
I
around in schools and everything else. None of the
I
dangerous.
only sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm saying I only heard of anything remotely close to that when it comes to lice, and
Like, yeah.
that didn't really affect us. But I remember that, because people with stringy hair, you know, lice is a big deal, and they would just go crazy. Um, but ticks, real talk, didn't, I don't think I even knew what a tick was until I had a dog. And that was when I learned about fleas and ticks.
Right.
I remember the
It is
ticks.
not
I
taught.
remember the lice too. I'm not saying that lice. Lice
Yep.
was a big thing too, but ticks
Yep.
and fleas, yeah, it was a big deal that don't bring this in the house. You can't come to school until you are completely done with both of them.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So now we're telling you if it's this infecting, because I'm trying to use big words and I'm tired, so I don't even count them more. Infecting
Infest?
the whole school is not the bigger deal that you have to deal with the here and now. It's the infection that it can inflict on you. So you see the difference between when you was younger and now, the evolution.
Mm-hmm.
You know, smart science people out there who didn't see one, so they don't exist. The evolution of insects. What you worried about when you was a kid ain't the same thing you need to worry about. You need to worry about it, but it ain't for the same reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Well, knowledge expands, right? You got that situation, and then as a kid, you just weren't concerned about certain things. Right? Adults are supposed to be responsible for that. So a lot of things that we think we are just becoming aware of, we're just taking our turn at being responsible for it, right? So, what happened?
Wait, so
Life
lice?
wasn't as common in the black community because Greece is an amazing shit.
I'm just saying, man. grease, oils, lotion. These things will do wonderful things for you, man. I'm just throwing it out
Hey,
there. But
that hot comb.
no, the hot comb is an evil thing. That's an evil thing. But yeah, but it's just cultural thing. What happened?
Yeah, and the
The
environment is
environment is
hotter
hotter
now.
now.
It's hot now,
Yeah.
hotter now.
Yeah, that's very true. Like mosquitoes are going crazy now because they're not having like the period of time that makes them go dormant as long. I mean, everything like it's nice that we have more pleasant seasons, but that's only because the oven's turning up, right? We're just turning up until the little more comfortable part yet, but the temperature's gonna keep going. So that's the problem. But yeah, I think
The
that
funny thing about it is, did y'all have a winter?
who me
Anybody I'm talking
Anna
to
did.
right now.
Anna did. She had snow.
I had one.
I
No.
didn't even come. I had one frost warning,
I had
maybe two.
maybe two. Yeah,
I may
maybe
have
two.
had two, but I don't even remember past two that we had a frost warning. It was just that. It was cold. Put a jacket on and go about your business. Warm your car up and go about your business. But for a winter of even the remote threat of snow, never came across once. Not once.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, this was another
One last
mild
thing.
winter for us.
yeah.
There are many that think that snow is a death knell for many insects. Snow insulates. Insects know how to get underneath either leaves or they know how to attach to small mammals and get into dens. They do not expire as we thought that they did. They just kind of go dormant for a while. And they
Yeah,
come right back out when it's better weather.
but that's
And
why we
then
need these. We need.
that's one for you.
Hmm?
That was for you.
The
Oh,
hot comb
says
is
the
evil,
bald man.
says the bald
Hey
man.
man, I'm a girl dad, right? So I
I
feel
was
the
gonna say,
pain.
is
I
it
got
for
three
your
girls with a whole lot of hair. But yeah, um, but yeah, that's the problem I think I see with the well, there's a lot of problems with the climate situation. I think some of it's overblown, but then also I think it's underappreciated. So when you have these mild winters, like Anna was hitting on, that means the insects aren't staying dormant as long as they normally would. And if they're not dormant as long as they normally would, that means they're reproducing when they normally would not. So
Yes.
when the weather does get better, there's more of them coming out, which then creates more of them. you know? So we need the winters because it helps inhibit the growth. It pauses the growth for a while. But we're not seeing that right now. And then we're going out and we're treating everything and cutting down all the trees and destroying everything so that the very creatures that would help control those pests don't have anywhere to live. So there's less inhibiting their growth. We're doing it to ourselves, man. I still say humanity. I got some cultural opinions, but humanity, period. And we're like Earth's cancer. Right? It's like Earth is like, man, why did evolution give us them? Like Venus is looking at them like, ooh, I used to have humans. You got humans? You're gonna be like me one day.
Am I
This is what the humans do.
feels
Great
like
timing,
fuck
Marlon.
y'all can't come back here.
Yeah. Jupiter's sitting there like, turn up the heat, turn up the heat, turn up the heat, turn up the heat.
And Mars already figured that out a long time ago. We're gonna
If
get to you As soon as y'all get cooler, put a little log on
I
the fire.
bet you. I bet the other like solar systems look at our solar system like they got infested. Don't go over there. Don't.
I could see that. I could. Mm-hmm.
If you go to Earth and come back, you need to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Thank you. We're the COVID of the galaxy.
Please, for your own safety, do it longer.
Mom, can I go out and play at Mars? No, because you know they live next door to that nasty house.
You know you're gonna get infected.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We get on a tangent on some of the silly stuff with the piece on the outside. Okay, so get back to it. We literally held this conversation before. This is, 307th rule in his book of life. That you do not have to accept somebody's apology. You can hear them out,
I think that came.
but you ain't got to accept it. Well, let me rephrase it. You ain't even have to hear them out. You just okay. Here is one of them.
I, male 33, was best friends with R, female 33, for 10 years, and although we had many common interests and hobbies, our personalities clashed often. She was a great person to be around, but she was also very jealous and insecure. The main issue we would argue about was her attempts at telling me who I could and couldn't be friends with, and this was also a rule she attempted to make when it came to relationships I was in. One night, while we were out with friends, R pulled me aside and demanded I break off my relationship that I was in at that moment, I wasn't in one, and stated she would need to approve of anyone going forward. She also tried to downplay personal issues I was going through at the time and stated that these didn't need as much attention as I thought. I left and she sent texts all that night restating everything we said. R never apologized for what she said and I cut her off. This past week, a mutual friend of ours told me R's jealousy has caused most of our mutual friends to keep their distance, and she wants to apologize, starting with me. I refuse to hear her out because it doesn't seem like she's changed, and I'm also in a happy and healthy relationship, which R has a history of having problems with. It's pretty safe play there, bro. This friend has stated that by not accepting her apology, it'll be ensuring that R is left as an outcast to our other mutual friends. So, am I the astronaut? That's a her problem, bro. It's not your problem. It's a her problem. Edit, I want to clear up some information. I'm getting asked, and I'll add another edit to my post soon as well. I could have worded these posts better to explain. My apologies. This incident with R happened 7 years ago, and I started dating my girlfriend 4 years ago. I've been with girlfriends since. R and I never dated or had sex at any point. I had no contact with R over those 7 years and only heard pieces of what she was up to from mutual friends who would bring her up in conversation.
Y'all don't know my mom. Obviously not as well as I am. I pick up a lot of, my mama was a single mom who raised me as a single parent for years, 16 to be exact. So I pick up a lot of her mannerisms. A lot of if y'all ever meet my mom, you will realize, yeah, that's your mom, because she acts just like, I act just like her. So when I say certain things as you need to break up with your current relationship, and I need to approve of all future relationships, my mom popped in my head because the first thing that popped out of my mouth was, who the fuck is you talking to? Because you could not possibly be talking to me. There is absolutely no way in the world you're telling me you got some improvement over my relationship with absolutely anybody. You are a friend, and you're on a thin line on that one.
Sorry.
So, yeah, I'm going to walk away from you. You need to evaluate your life and your choices of what you say to me, because I don't ever want to hear anything like that come out of your mouth at me ever again. You can take it as you will. Now, because pretty much anybody who knows me by this point, I'm already at the point of indifference. So you come back, you come back. If you don't, you don't. Don't care. Not after that statement. Not really caring one way or the other.
You
So
can't put such conditions on a friendship. That I'd be bouncing right away too. And as far as, are you the asshole because you have mutual friends? No, still her problem. I'm done.
no, I think he was asking. She wants to apologize to the group, and she wants the jump off point to be OP. That if I can apologize to OP first, then everybody can see that I'm sincere. And OP is saying, am I the a-hole where I don't want to accept her apology?
You have a right to have your feeling.
I think this is missing in this story, so I can't follow it because um you calling this person your friend. You said you were friends for a long time and there's no sexual history there. Then there's more going on than they said that you need to come to me for the opinion on who you with. There's something else there because that in and of itself is not something that might be enough for you to no longer be friends, but that's not something that someone has to come to you 7 years later on some apology stuff and you still have a hard heart on. That's just ridiculous. It makes no sense. So something's missing. Right? That's just the math ain't mathing. Because there was no offense here. There was no true offense. It was, hey, you keep making bad dating decisions, and I care about you, and these girls don't seem to care. But it almost sounds like one of those times where you were a friend because you could never be more than. So that could be one scenario. So she was very protective over you because that's how she rolls. She really cared about you, but you weren't looking at her that way. That's one role. Other role is she's what do you call it? Domineering or controlling. And fine, don't be friends with her no more. Okay. I don't get the part of, well, I'm not going to accept her apology. You shouldn't even care, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know her anymore. That's not a part of my life. I'm over here doing my own thing. I'm not gonna complicate my life even talking to her. But yeah, she's fine. Whatever.
I'm taking it as a two-parter. Seriously, I will. And probably because, and really, it ain't because I'm that smart. It's because I didn't listen to so many of these radio stories and they're all about the same thing. One, your so-called friend wanted you, didn't have the balls to say that she wanted you, so she's going to sabotage everything and wait for you to come on to her. So the domineering and controlling aspect of it, I totally believe she was. When it comes to OP's position, he cares slightly. It's still dangerous, OP. I'm telling you off the bat now, because here's the slightly thing that you care about. You care slightly because you care enough about her that you don't want her to not have friends. In other words, you feel a certain type of way because you really think you may have something to do with her not being friends with the other people. You're wrong. You're definitely wrong. The hole she dug was for herself. I'm just, just giving a guess of how you feeling. So you're feeling that if you do accept the apology and I don't have to deal with her no more, no harm, no foul. But you don't want to accept the apology.
And that's the part I don't get.
But I haven't done this in a long time, so let's go ahead and do it now. Let's go ahead and get to the conclusion of this cluffer F of a woman.
Several weeks back, I made a post about an ex-friend, R, who I cut off because of her possessiveness and jealousy. To briefly summarize, she confronted me at an outing and told me I would have to abide by her rules of needing her approval for anyone coming into my life. I cut her off and haven't spoke to her since. The previous post I made was about a mutual friend of ours who told me over the past several years, R had caused most of our friend group to distance themselves from her, and R asked to speak with me first to apologize, which she hoped would make our friends be more accepting of her apologies. It sounds like a play. I didn't agree to go along with this, and from what I heard, this caused her to call and text all of our friends, going back and forth between bashing everyone and begging for their forgiveness. I've had her blocked everywhere, so she didn't attempt to reach me. Hold up. I've been with my girlfriend for a few years now, and she's really amazing. Girlfriend is aware of R and knows how problematic she was while we were friends. Yesterday, R sent girlfriend a message on social media accusing me of cheating, and she provided dates and times of this cheating. Who was he cheating on? These dates were days I was with my girlfriend, so those didn't match up. Oh. R sent girlfriend a message accusing me of cheating. Okay, so R sent a message accusing OP of cheating. Okay, got it. These dates were days that OP was with girlfriend, so those didn't match up. Girlfriend showed me the messages and asked if she could press further for more information, which I agreed to out of curiosity. It's dangerous. R began to word vomit, and lie after lie was being sent to the chat. Girlfriend thanked her and said she would speak with me, but we left it at that. This morning, girlfriend made a post of the both of us out on a date this past weekend with pictures and some loving words. A couple of hours later, my friend B said R was calling the last of our friends she speaks to with the same accusations of me being a cheater. No one believed her. She lashed out at them, and now they're all blocking her. As of right now, R has been on social media having a meltdown and posting about betrayal, fake friends, and oddly, the one who got away. I can't say with certainty she's referring to me as this one, but it would explain a lot. Who else would she be talking about at this point, man? Edit, thank you all for your insight and advice. Both girlfriend and I have screenshots, and we're given screenshots from my friends to keep for the time being. We have both notified our bosses of the situation and our families as well. R doesn't know where we live as far as I know, but we've had cameras up for a couple of years. As for R, she got a lot of pushback on her post, and a lot of her family were concerned enough to reach out to her and her parents. Those posts were taken down yesterday, and nothing else has happened since.
Good.
Only thing I gotta say on all of this, man, is see, this is why people need to just let people go and stop being so messy and wanting to know more than they need to know and all that. Look, friendships, sometimes they run their course. And when they run their course, let it go. Simple as that. So, y'all stop being friends. She popped back up. She started going haywire a little bit there. You shouldn't even been entertaining that. You know, all this stuff still would have been flowing around you. Nothing you could do about it. But you just, I ain't got, I know. That was a friendship in the past. It's cool. I'm not mad at her no more. Let her live her life. And then you going about with you and your girlfriend. That's it. That's it. Why are you, how is this person still in your social media world? How is this person in your girlfriend's social media world? Why are your friends bringing you this drama? Your friends bringing you this drama. Like this. That's what I'm saying. There's more to this than what it seems like. It's like people who were not off the rails don't typically come out of nowhere and go off the rails. I, can it
You
happen?
know,
Sure, but
it just what you said there about um friends informing. Um, when I was going through my divorce, I had a an online journal kind of thing with friends, but we were relatively same area. And like people would start to give me updates on him, and I had to ask, please stop. I don't want to know anything about him. Like, I don't know where it comes from, this um, like I
people
want
are
to
messy.
think that that's them being protective. It's, to me it looked more like I'm hooked to the drama. Sorry,
Even if they don't
what
see
you
it as
said
drama or they
brought
won't
that
claim
right
it as
back.
drama, even if they won't say it's drama or claim it's drama, that's what it is. Your life is their entertainment because people are messy, you know.
Yeah.
And my problem with people is that you messy and you don't want to own it. I'll tell you you messy because the type of stuff you entertain tell you if you're messy or not.
They're thinking that they're helping by
And they're being messy.
and they've been messy. I mean, what I'm saying, their reasoning is all covered by being messy. Because even they are thinking, if I keep Anna informed of how much hell has fallen on him since y'all have separated and divorced and everything else, and he's living a miserable life and everything. Let's be honest with you, bro. That's more entertainment for you than Anna. That's not, if I guarantee if Anna wanted to find out information about her ex, she could find out. She don't need you to be Inspector Gadget all of a sudden, keeping up her informed of everything that's going on in somebody else's life. That's for your entertainment. That was Reddit before Reddit.
Oh wow.
That
Yeah.
was Reddit updates before Reddit updates. So it was for you. Now, that being said, I do have one thing I had to do, and this is not towards you. What you did was absolutely right. I'm talking about the here and now and the last couple of years. You Facebook people who put your life out there day in and day out. You have a scrolling soap opera on Facebook, and then when it don't go your way, you always like to end off with mind your own business. No, you need to mind your own damn business. Don't have me in season 2, episode 4 of you, and then you want to end the show. Hell no, I need to know what the hell the ending was.
Messy.
Hey, I'm invested. I'm invested. I need to know what the hell happened.
Messy.
Was that his
Messy.
baby? Was that his baby?
What?
Didn't I just say that your life is somebody else's entertainment?
Yes, and even in that case,
He's like, this is
it
season
wasn't
4. You
Facebook
can't cut
for
me off
me.
now.
It
Come on,
was
you can't come
a
out with season 4.
private
Sorry, Anna.
journaling.
Go
I'm
I'm
ahead.
sorry,
sorry.
Anna. I didn't hear what you say. I'm sorry. I was talking over you.
I'm so sorry. Um, just for me, it wasn't Facebook. It was a private journaling. Like not, you couldn't just come across my journal. You had to be friends with me, and even then, I kept I thought, pretty good circles as far as I'd have to feel a certain way, talk with you enough about that before I'd let you into some filters, let's say. Because I was talking about many different things, not only my life, but community stuff, and also health, so it was my life. And it was a wonderful experience. I say like 98% of the time. I think because I kept those filters. But it just, oh man, it was surprising. The people. It shouldn't have been surprising. But at the time, I was a little shell-shocked. And because I did only post about what was going on personally to what I called my inner circle filter. And so that cut down from I think some 60 people to less than 20. But dudes, all of them, all of them. That was what was so weird too. There was no outlier. There, all of them did it.
But I would say, and I don't know, I'm
It
just going
gave
off
me
my
some
experience.
good reflection later on too.
Yeah, because I'm gonna say if all of them doing it, you in that circle, meaning that you like when things were good, you might have been inviting feedback and thoughts and let's explore this and work through this as I'm sharing my story so it can hopefully help you and all these different things, all that's flowing. Well, if you create an environment where everybody's pouring in, they're not going to just stop pouring in. Right? Now they're invested in you. Like Marlon would say, they're actually thinking they're protecting you. They might not even be. I might have to retract the messy statement because in some cases they may not actually be being messy. If it's all of them, right? Like it's like two or three of them, 4 or 5 of them. That's messy, right? But if it's all of them, they're a community, and they're like, we're gonna rally around you, and they think they're doing good, but really all they're doing is running gonna tell it. Because what if you stop and think about it? If all y'all telling me about what he's doing there all the time, what does that do for me? How does that help me exactly? Like,
That's
But
exactly what I
okay,
asked.
like
now I'm gonna get on Anna slightly. I say get on Anna, but I'm
Go
really
ahead.
not. Would the Anna today would have put up with that Anna then? The same situation.
hmm?
Would the
Can I
Anna
ask for an
today,
elaboration?
the Anna today, the Anna that we know, the Anna that we've known for the past
The
4 years,
one that's sitting here right now. Would
the one
I?
that's sitting with us right here, right now,
Okay.
would you have put up with that same mess back then? Same group, same, what did you say, from
I
80 to
pretty
20?
much immediately squashed it and said, so I think I would do the same thing.
So my
Is that
deal
what you're
is,
asking?
yeah, I think it's a learning thing. Back then, you
I
would
was
have,
20.
yeah, you'd have went from 80 to 20, but I guarantee you probably went from 80 to 20 a whole lot quicker. Like you're not, I'm not putting up with this. You're out. You're out. You're out. You're out. You're out. You're out. Hey, how you doing? You're out. You're out. You're out. Hey, how you doing? How's the kids and wife and everything? You're out. You're out. You're out.
Oh,
You would have
there
did
were
it a
people
lot
I would
quicker.
call. Whew,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, it's you learn from your past what your boundaries is, what you're gonna put up with, And unfortunately, I don't think I've ever said this before, so I'll say it for probably the first time ever. You're gonna go through some bullshit in your past to learn what you can, what you will and will not put up with now. It just the way it is. You can look back on your past and ooh, that was cringy. Ooh, that did not age
Oh, I have
well.
those moments. Oh, for sure.
But you had to go through a whole bunch of crap to get to the point where you are now. Going back to that story, and if I would put myself in that story, I get where that guy was coming from, because I was the person years ago who just like, and I hate this statement because I don't even understand what the hell it means, to be honest with you. Meet them where they're at. I don't know what the hell that means. I
believe in that.
I don't even know
I
what that
believe in that
means.
as well.
I don't know what that means.
So it depends on what we talk about,
Yeah.
but generally it's an art of leadership, or it's an art of debate, or it's an art of winning people over, right? If you are doing any of those things, you kind of figure out where this person is. Okay, well, politics, great one, politics, right? If you have someone that you want to, who does not vote, they don't vote at all, right? They're both the same party, and it's a waste of my time. I'm not going to do it. Okay. You pry enough to get that statement out of them, and then you use that from where you build from, right? Now you're meeting them where they are. You find out where you're going to start from. Like, everybody's not going to start from the same place. Like, you got the ones who say everybody's the same. That's why it's all corrupt. It's all rigged. That's why I don't do it. Okay, I'm gonna take this approach with you. And then there's another one that say, well, the Republicans believe in, Christ and about, family values. Okay, well, I'm gonna start with you from there. Like, that's basically what it
Okay.
means.
Well, I got it. Okay. Cool. That makes sense now. Okay. Because that was just really bothering me. Like, but anyway, my point is still the same, is I learned that everybody is not going to be your friend. And there may be some small sacrifices for having a friendship with somebody, but and call me an old man, it may be because of age and everything. I'm not putting in so much damn effort to be somebody's friend. I'm just not. If I don't like something that you're doing and you're constantly doing it and it only benefits one of us, and I'm talking to OP on this, but I'm talking to anybody who wants to hear this. If one group of you is benefiting from you accepting their BS, their being toxic, them being controlling, and you doing all this on the grounds of friendship, they're not your friends. They're treating you, you're probably their friend because you're the only one that put up with them. And believe me, that's not a good thing that you actually have to say in a friendship you're putting up with somebody. That's really
Different if
should not be
you
the
see
definition of
that
a
something
friendship.
in somebody, but
Yeah, there's a
you
lot of
are
things
done
you put
with
up with.
her.
No, it's not even put up with is,
Yeah, under normal circumstances, you wouldn't deal with this person.
yes,
Right.
there you
Yeah.
go. Under
Yeah,
normal
I feel you.
circumstances. So anyway, Mafia
But yeah,
video.
this one's a little different. This one's like, this is some person that I used to be friends with. Y'all still friends with. And I haven't had anything to do with this person for years. And because Y'all having an issue, you bringing it to me, and I'm saying close that door as soon as it comes up. Hey, Fizz, Crystal is reaching out to us because it's been a few years and she misses hanging out with the crew, and she was saying that she really regrets that she did whatever it was that strained you guys' relationship, and she'd like to talk to you and see if maybe she can mend those bridges and we can all become friends again. Theus's response should be, "Oh, that's nice. Well, I'm not friends with her anymore. I wish her all the best, and I hope you guys are able to work out whatever you guys decide to work out with. I don't have any hard feelings because she can do whatever she wants to do. No apologies needed. But I'm focused on building over here with my girlfriend."
And we're done.
That's not going to stop some of the other stuff, but it will let them know, don't come to me no more with this. And y'all want to reconcile. Okay, I'm hardly kicking with y'all. See, whatever the hell y'all want to do. I don't care.
All right, let's move on, everybody. Mafia video of the week. All right, let's have a little contest. We're going back to cringy commercials, but let's have a little contest. Which commercial was the most cringy? This is number one.
Boss lady, this man needs help. His baby mama put him out and he ain't got no furniture. Let him have it. Boss lady, this man needs a bed. And all he can afford is $69 a month. How you gonna get another one without a bed? Come on, baby. This man needs a TV for his bedroom. All he can afford is $59 a month. You know he got all them children. 73 inches, baby. Boss lady, this man needs air conditioning. It's hot on the street. And he only can pay $49 a month. I'll cool him down, baby. No money down, no credit check, all the time.
That was just terrible.
That was number one.
$49 a month for an old AC unit? How many months you got to pay on that? 4?
What
What is
what
this?
year that was?
I don't get it. That air conditioning unit might be a $500 unit. He gonna pay $49 a month for the next 5 years.
And by the time he's done with it, he's probably done paid $2,000.
Yep. But hey, I don't know if I would call that one cringy. I would say that was more like,
That wasn't cringy.
it's not. It's like it's not as high quality as Red House, but it's like a low grade Red House, and I could see the appeal. It was interesting. I like a little tongue in cheek kind of thing, and if you think about it, you get an AC unit, and you get old girl who own the whole joint. Same. That might be a sweet deal to the right person. Get a girlfriend who got her own business. Neo had a song about it. He loves a girl who got her own. Never mind, Neil gets divorced from a woman who ain't got no job, and now she's trying to take all his money. But either way, yeah.
All right, that's video number one. Let's move on to video number two.
Howdy, y'all. This here's Mike. Down at Mike's Golf Shop, where we buy golf. That's right. We buy golf clubs. Mike's Golf Shop. Come on over here. We buy golf clubs. Over at Mike's Golf Shop. Come on down here. We buy golf clubs. That's right. We buy golf clubs. We buy golf clubs. We buy golf clubs. We buy golf clubs. We buy golf clubs.
Business is slow, and somebody should have helped Grandpa. I knew it was gonna be bad as soon as that man came on with that Tennessee hat. I was like, oh, ain't nothing good coming behind this. Ain't nothing good coming behind this. Sorry, Tennessee fans out there, but I'm just saying. And then he got stuck in a loop. See, they done taught him how to use a forward-facing camera, and he done lost his ever-loving mind. Somebody should have been there to help him. Business was slow. He was bored, and he was like, you know what? I gotta get some people out here. Let me go on out here and shoot a commercial right quick. We buy golf clubs. You ain't hear me? We buy golf clubs. What, you got golf clubs? We buy those. Come on.
The first time he just said we buy golf.
He did say that.
Yep.
But it's Tennessee. So I know people in Tennessee don't like them, but I'm just saying, Tennessee, y'all, okay, look. Y'all's like Alabama better. Okay? This is the honest truth. Georgia ain't nothing but Alabama better too, so I mean the same. But that's
Oh my gosh.
yeah. Tennessee, y'all are Kentucky's prettier cousin. That's yeah. But somebody go sell him some golf clubs, please.
Is this a place that you can also buy golf clubs? Because
He never said.
I'm really confused what this place is.
Like, what are you gonna do after I sell you my golf
I'll
club?
come in with a golf club. I don't have a golf club, but
Maybe he just really likes golf. Oh, sir, you buy golf clubs. What do you sell? Oh, we sell car polish.
I just wanted to make sure that my face was not shown while Thea was talking about Tennessee. So, yeah.
This is a panel.
Hold on.
radical truth
This is a
power does
panel
not.
that is normally 2/3 black. Right now it's 50-50 because one of us want to go hide. I think it's pretty safe to say there's not a large contingent of Tennesseans that are watching our show. I could be wrong. Tennesseans, please check in below. Let us know that you watched the show and tell me what you think about We Buy Golf Clubs, man. Is he a proper representation of the videographical skills that come out of your area, or is he just a gentleman who decided to go shoot a commercial right quick?
All right, let's move on to the third video real quick.
Well, there's another one.
Just one more. It's a DoorDash commercial, so that tells you how old it is.
Georgia?
But
yeah, DoorDash jeans.
Yep,
Are those DoorDash jeans you're wearing?
DoorDash jeans commercial. Here we go.
DoorDash basics.
What happened to him?
He's been hurt.
He's probably
Help get him
drunk.
up. No. We have to get help. I don't think we should move him.
Leave him down.
We just saw him. Quick, give me your jacket. Hurry. Mike, wake up. Wake it up. Do something.
What are you gonna do? He's an old man.
Call somebody. Are we too late? Is he gonna be all right?
That one wins cringe because I don't know what the hell that was going on right there. That one, I don't know if I needed to send help for this old man. If it was like a, old people, young people sex thing going on. Horror film. I didn't know where this was going, man.
I'm just gonna let you know I lied. That wins. That's the most cringy commercial because I could not figure out what the hell was going on.
Nope. Except Grandpa was
I
in trouble.
for the life of me did y'all what Amityville horror M. Art Shyamalan thing are you doing with this commercial?
Oh, dear.
Who and what that got to do with jeans?
They're the basic kind. I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. Because normally a Jordache commercial at some point would have somebody's, flat butt on the commercial with showing off the logo. I ain't wrong. You look at them commercials. I still remember. Everybody who had a little emblem, the Jordache jeans emblem on their butt, it was a flat butt every single time. But they at least would show you the butt. There was a butt. You know what I'm saying? This one didn't even do that. This is an old man. I don't know. Was he on one skate? Was he on a skateboard? I don't know. It was like a Weekend at Bernie's weird moment that they were dragging this man down a hill, and then he's sitting there trying to play chess, and the girl come up there saying like she's trying to hit on him or something. I don't know what that one was. It was just the whole thing was just bad. That was bad.
All right, since I'm already on it, let me go ahead and clear this out real quick. One last one. I don't even have to take anybody down because it's like 14 seconds long. It ain't cringy. It's just funny as hell. Some people need to stay in their lane. Jeez.
Where's the bass? Where's the bass? The super stereo. Where did I found the bass?
Find the bass only in North Seattle at Super Stereo Warehouse.
Okay, so a couple quick things on this one. One, it was almost a great commercial. Two, now they make white folk different nowadays than they did back when they did this video. This video was in the 90s. White folk today
90s
dance way better.
No, that's the Where's the Beef thing.
No, that was definitely 90s. Because 90s was like bass music. It was really important to have all that going on, right? So, I mean, 80s and 90s, it looks the same on video, though. It's wild. It's so wild. I can't tell the difference.
I don't know. 80s
But
always looks different to me than 90s.
No.
I'm talking about like the video quality. It just seems like that washed out kind of color. But anyway, Granny was the best thing on there, man. She was moving and doing a thing. She was probably a young person in makeup, but she was doing a thing. But then when the dudes come in, there had to be 5 people, but they were obviously dancing to 7 different songs. I don't know what was going on. Don't do that.
Oh dear.
But I think it was a cute video. It was kind of fun.
It was. That was cute.
Okay. Foxy's videos of the week. I'm trying to get everybody off because, like I said, I don't want to be selfish. I literally don't have to go to work tomorrow, so I don't even know what time I'm going to bed tonight.
That sounded dirty.
I can live with that. I've had worse.
Let's
go from
everybody off.
Oh. I went right past that part. Wow.
Yes, because your mind doesn't go that way. That's why I went right past you.
How do you know what my mind?
That about to say, man.
You went right past it. You literally went right past it.
It's late. We've been at it for a minute. We've been at it for a long time. We've been going at it for so long, and now it's time to help get people off.
I knew it. He was gone.
People gotta go off on it. Oh.
All right. Well, since we're going that route, here's the climax of the show. Foxy's videos of the week. Let's start off with a cute one. Arrested for speeding.
Poor thing got the zoomies and got arrested by a broke security guard.
Yo.
Then let's go to what the hell just happened.
His boys ain't gonna let him live that one down.
Then
From the side. How are you? That was really close to a gate.
Then let's throw in a little political correspondent in it by saying, you know damn well black people can't get away with this.
Officer, I'm sorry. I know I was speeding.
First name?
Frida.
Last name?
Go, ma'am.
You're free to go, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Have a great
Wait,
day.
what?
No,
I'm gonna
nothing.
let y'all
Okay.
have that one. I ain't got nothing on that one.
Nope. I said what I said. All the way to don't think your marriage is as strong as you think it is.
Babe, if you miss this, I'm gonna divorce you.
Man, do that again.
Babe, if you miss this, I'm gonna divorce you.
Man,
Don't threaten the man with a good time. Don't threaten that man with a good time.
And finally ending the night. So as Theus would say, we're almost there.
Somebody get the hot towel.
The gaslighting of all gas lighters.
I have no idea what just happened.
different hair.
Yeah, she kept changing her hair, but I saw that. But it took me a minute to catch on to that because I was obviously distracted by other aspects. But I just couldn't read any of the stuff that was flashing on the screen. So
It's
I just don't get it. Like, why is he staring at her in the first place?
Other than
And
why
how is
the
it
hell?
gaslighting?
You know damn well you're changing your hair.
I don't understand the gaslighting aspect. I've never really understood the term very well. It's real hard for me.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh,
Your
so
hair
she's
is
like,
changing.
there's nothing for you to look at. Why are you staring at me? And he's like, you're obviously keep changing your appearance.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what the theme is?
And it's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't see it. That's how quick they change it.
Oh.
Help me out. What did Foxy say?
Say it again, Foxy.
The thing is, the premise behind it is how quick women change their hair. You see it, but you don't realize it, but it's happening. You listen to the music and watch how often she changes her hair. But then she goes back to the original one. So it's like she never changed it. So he just gives up at the end. My sister does that. She wears wigs. She has a lot of wigs.
Yes, Lord, she does.
One time she wore 2 in one day. So, yeah.
She does.
Oh, okay. All right, so I get that. That's what I thought they were going for. I just couldn't quite grasp it because at the end of the day, it wasn't none of his business that she was changing it. They weren't there together. You know what I'm saying? Stop looking at it then. You got a whole restaurant. Why you staring at
I
her?
think they were on a date, though.
They was there together.
Oh, it looked like they were at two different tables, man. Like he at this table and she at another table. That's why see, that's why I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, if y'all on a date together, then it's like, oh, okay, now it's a weak joke, but it's I get it now, right? But I was like thinking he's sitting over here and she's sitting over there, and like I'm like he's fumbling trying to open his food and she's struggling trying to open her food. And why y'all staring at each other trying to open? And then if you're eating at the restaurant, this is Chipotle, this is my spot. So if you're eating at the restaurant, they wouldn't have put the lid on it. So why you got a lid on your food? You eating at the restaurant. It's not to go. What's going
So
on?
did you
So
notice
it's,
the changing?
did I notice the hair change? It took me a while. And that's because
Please just
I
stop
was
paying attention
also
to these videos
I was
because
stuck in my simple mode because I was stuck trying to figure out why is this man staring at this woman that he don't know? As I was stuck there. And then I was like, wow, she has a very nice shape. And then I was seeing that. And then I was like, and then I noticed her hair went from like orangish to black. And then I'm like, that's strange. And like the whole thing just didn't come together for me. And then also, now this is separate from the commercial, it's just me talking at this point. But one of the most beautiful things about black women to me, there's a lot of beautiful things about y'all. I love black women. But one of the most beautiful things about black women is how they can completely recreate themselves at any time. They just change their hair color, change the type of wig they wearing, change the hairstyle. Like you don't need to cheat. You
no,
if
he's not.
if
No,
you're
he's not. I literally have no idea why he's saying this right now. I
what?
literally have no
He's a
idea.
fan of black women.
Oh, he's a fan of black women. He's a fan of women, but he's a fan of
I'm a
black
fan
women.
of black women.
You
I'm a
also
fan of
take.
Latino
Oh,
women. I'm a
Anna,
fan of women.
I'm going
I
to
like
remind
beautiful
you
things.
exactly
But
why
I'm
I'm saying
saying black women are amazing. Huh?
I'm going to remind you because I'm just so amazed that you would say something like that. Because black women, I wholeheartedly believe what he's saying. I believe it. They can change their style, they can change their dress, they can change their body, they can change everything about it. They change their hair now. You want a damn 50-50 chance that this is going to stay with you.
Now, yeah, you need to, but it's up to you. You change your hair anything you want to. I may or may not like it. That didn't change. You know what I'm saying? That didn't change. And if you remember this conversation, because you like to bring it up so much, so I hope you remember the whole conversation. Because one of the things I put in there is this is also based on the type of person that you decided you were with. So if you're with a very conservative person who doesn't do these different things, she usually wears her hair a certain way, and then all of a sudden her hair is blue. That's her choice. She can have blue hair. I don't like blue hair. My choice is either I'm gonna put up with it or I'm not. That's it. I can't tell her to change it. I can decide what I'm gonna do.
Having a wig very different than a hairstyle, though? Like,
It can be, but not
is it?
necessarily. So like
Okay.
my wife doesn't wear wigs. She doesn't wear any wigs at all. But sometimes she'll put in like what they call faux locks. Sometimes she'll do box braids. Sometimes she'll leave her hair natural in a ponytail. Sometimes she'll do a little bit of a blowout type of thing. All of that, none of that is a wig. Right?
Okay.
Some of it's weave and some of it's normal hair. Right? No one in my house processes their hair. So everybody got natural hair. But they have a good grade, a certain kind of grade of hair that it's not, it's just cool. Like, it's just what we do. So whatever you want to do, you do. That's my thing. I have no authority to tell you what to do with what grows out of your head. But I do get to decide what I like or don't like.
Oh, yeah.
But Marlon don't like that.
No, I don't because I don't. There have been hairstyles that Fosse has had that I just didn't like.
Oh, really?
I stand on the thing that is her hair. She can do what the hell she want to. She's a grown ass woman.
And she does.
Just had to get a shot in. But she's a grown ass woman. She can do what the hell she wants to. I just didn't like it. But what I always get on you about, and you know what I get on you about, is I never decided to break up with her because of it. I don't have to live with it. I don't have to wear it. I just hope you
so
eventually.
couple different things there. One, we process life completely different, right? We operate two different ways, you and I do. So that's one piece. Another thing is, when are we talking about at the stage of a relationship? Because also remember, I'm the same dude who says you can break up with somebody you dating for any reason whatsoever. No questions asked, none of that. So if we are dating, you're my girlfriend, and you want to go and switch it all the way up, and I'm no longer attracted to this thing you've switched it up to, I don't have to stay here. I mean, I could say, sorry, battery just caught up with. One moment. Yeah, there we go. I can bring it to your attention if it's that serious, and I will, but you ain't got to change nothing. Now, my wife can show up with a hairstyle that I think is just straight up ugly. And we've been married long enough now that I will tell her that I think it's straight up ugly. But I ain't going nowhere with my wife. Levels this.
I have to agree with one thing because I've been, again, Reddit listener. I ain't gonna say reader because I'm just not gonna read your crap. Sorry, I'm just not. Listener. And I have been amazed at some of the stories that I have been listening to where we've been in a relationship for 3 months and all of a sudden she want to move in, have a baby, control the bank account and everything else. Should I stay? What? No and bye. At the same time, sunk cost fallacy, sunk time fallacy too, but sunk time fallacy is what I'm talking about right here, right now. Sunk time fallacy. I've been with her for 3 years, and all of a sudden, I caught her going into the bank account, taking money out of our account to give to her sister to support her drug habit with her boyfriend. And the next thing I know, all of a sudden my name is on the deed to a house that her sister has, but I'm paying for it. Should I stay in it? Why? We've been together for 3 years. I don't want to lose that time. Bruh. Who cares?
He cares.
He sucks then. Because I'm sorry. You do. And I'm going to tell you why. Stop. I'm going to tell you why. Because now when you literally say to me, we've been together for 3 years and I don't want to lose that time, you have converted all that to sunk time fallacy, which means you don't want to lose that time with the woman that you have, even though she's screwing the living hell out of you.
If she's doing it right.
You know what?
But Marlon, so here's a funny thing, right?
I give up.
For my life, for me, I don't believe in sunk time costs, right? I don't quantify it that way. Me and my wife have been together for 20 years, 21 years, I guess, 17 years married. All right. That is 21 years of my life. I don't view if our marriage ended that I just lost 21 years of my life. I don't see it that way. This was a chapter of my life for 21 years, and I value it for that time. I didn't lose something. I didn't lose other opportunities because I don't know what other opportunities it would have been. Being like, some people look at it and be like, well, I gave my best years to her or my best years to him. And I'm like, wait, whoa. If you didn't have that person, you do not know the alternate life you would have had. Your alternate life may have been straight up hell. So you don't know what, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I agree with you with the sunk time fallacy. But that's for me. For this dude, he does see it as an investment of time. So now I'm going to look at it like what you were saying before about seeing somebody where they meet where they are. I'm going to look at it from his point of view on that. He values it that way. So now the question is, do I leave or do I stay because I've been with her for 3 years? Now the equation that I will present to him is you have to decide for yourself if do you want to stay in something for another 3 years that's not good for you and now you've lost 6 years, or do you need to cut your losses and move on now? Right? You've lost these 3 years because he believes in this it's an time investment or whatever. Fine. So from your viewpoint, you're losing these 3 years if you leave now. I am presenting to you that if you stay in a bad situation, you will now lose more time. You're not going to lose less time. So make your best decision.
I think me and Diaz are saying the same thing. He's just more
We're not.
eloquent.
Nope.
Why we not?
You're judging him by your standards, and I'm saying what are his standards, and now I'm going to work through it from there. Because you said that something was wrong with him. I'm not saying nothing's wrong with him. I'm saying he views the world different than I do. So based on how he views the world, how can I help him make this decision? He's not, stupid or making, whatever. It ain't a decision I would make. For me, the decision would be real easy. I'll hurt and cry later, but he has a different value set.
Do we get to the same conclusion?
I don't think we really did.
That we both want him. We both feel that he should leave.
I don't know that he should leave. I would leave.
I think he was saying it like, it's been 3 years. Should I give it some more effort because we have been in a relationship that long? I could kind of hear him questioning, I think.
But that's the part that bothers me, Anna, is something about when people say should I stay in a relationship because of time? It kind of bothers me because it's the equivalent of saying, should I stay in this bad business because I've sunk so much money into it? You're not giving me any other reason other than that. If you was to tell me, and it's just me, I'm nobody in your relationship. Trust me, I'm just going by you're asking me my opinion about something. I'm giving it to you.
Mm-hmm.
if you start off any conversation about, dude, why do you want to stay in this conversation? And you start off with, because we've been together for 3 years, and not because I really love her, because I really care for her, because she's a sweet person, because I feel that she did made a mistake, because I feel like she's being manipulated. Because if you start off the conversation with, because I've been with her for 3 years, I don't know how to take that other than, so you just do not want to lose 3 years?
That's a real fear to some people. And then also, that's actually, for me anyway, if I have the patience for it. For me anyway, that's a starting point for me to now dig in with you, right? Because what does that actually mean? Because they're saying to you, I've been with her for 3 years and I'd hate to see that go. The next question would be, what do those 3 years really mean to you? And let them say something back to you. Because that's what it is. People will say an objection, but what they say as an objection is usually just the most least vulnerable way of putting out their concern. Right? They'll give a superficial objection because the real objection gets a little closer to the vest. It gets a little more, hits your heart a little harder. So you have to draw that out of people. It's kind of like when someone says, well, I don't shop there because the prices are too high. So if I came down by 20 cents, would you shop with me? If I came down by 35 cents, would you shop with me? Like, what's the number? So the real issue is my budget is only so much. And when I go shopping, I'm not just shopping for one thing. I'm shopping for multiple things. And I have to make sure I'm getting the best value. Like, it's like a sales thing, right? You got to get past the first objection to figure out what in the world are they really objecting to. 3 years is what I say to you. What I really mean to you is, she's a complicated person. It's a complicated relationship. This right here is really bad. But in the 3 years I've been with her, I really love her. And we've had so many positive blah, 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 all that stuff. Now you're starting to uncover what's really going on. What's going on is 75% of my experience with her has been wonderful. And now I'm being forced to deal with this new 25 that I never had to deal with before. And I don't know what to do with that because it hurts. It's confusing. I don't know what to do. So do I throw away 3 years out of 25% of confusion? Or do I find a way to look past that and see if we can heal and grow? That's what they're saying to you. But their words are, we've been together for 3 years.
A lot of times, when people talk about the honeymoon phase, what they mean is the first couple of years, and that mask finally comes off in that 3rd year. When you start to feel comfortable around a person, a lot of relationships fail in that 3rd year.
Or that 7-year itch.
Oh.
Yep, there's that one.
Oh, yeah. I have nothing to add to it.
Well,
That buyer's remorse
some
kicks
people
in,
don't
boy.
really believe you should be with the same person for the rest of your life.
There are people here for a reason, a season, and for a lifetime. Try not to mix them up.
But it's funny. I think that last part is where I wouldn't agree, because sometimes those things have to get mixed up because you don't know who that person is really going to be, and there's a lot of variables that create that situation, right? So I look at it like this. My wife does not belong to me, no matter how much I feel she belongs with me. So she is walking her path and I am walking my path. We are not walking the same path. In my mind, she doesn't see it the same way. But for me, I look at things as I'm walking my path and she's walking her path. And part of the struggle or commitment or whatever you want to call it is that so long as I want her to be my traveling partner, I have to do what I feel is best for her and for me to keep us walking parallel on this path. But there could come a time where her life dictates that she veers off a little bit. And I have to decide, is it in my best interest and our best interest to veer with her or to let her walk her path? You see what I'm saying? Everything is about you and your relationship to the other. And when you look at it that way, it's a lot easier to let people go when it's time to let them go, because it's not like it's being taken from you. It's really you are free. You always acknowledge that they are free to make their own choices. And you value that for however long they're willing to do it, that choice was to be with you. You know, but people get it twisted and they start having ownership feelings and stuff like that. And now it's, I've lost these years, or how could you do this to me? Or is that you did what you felt like you needed to do in your life. And I'm looking at it saying, I don't want to be a part of that. Or I really still want to be a part of that until I no longer do. Isn't that beautiful? It's beautiful.
Poetic.
Alan, tell everybody where they can find you.
Marlon, say it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Damn near gorgeous.
Ooh. You can find me at borreliaetc.com.
Theus.
Hey everybody, my name is Theus. You can find me on Facebook at Complex Mind Simple Man. And Facebook, now you go to Complex Mind Simple Man, just know that this is a page that is directed to the Black community. And we talk politics, we talk culture. So it may not be about you, for you, and you might not like everything I say over there. So you have to just suck that up and deal with your feelings on that. Or you can catch me on Our United Cause, which is based on a belief in an ideology. Everybody is welcome if you can rock with the thought process, if you can't see your way out. And we got a website, which I'll tell you about later.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, and of course,
I'm assuming you're LGBTQ.
I appreciate Anna, I appreciate Theus, and until next time, we will see you when we see you. Peace.
If she changes her hair, she just don't care.
Really, honestly,
Wake up before she wakes up.